And I also figured out I was smart enough. Like, it's so hard being from the hood with no confidence, because you'll take whatever somebody gives you.
I feel you.
And that was my story. But because people liked me so much, they gave me more than I expected. Ooh. But once I started figuring out, I knew my shit. I started making more money because I started realizing what I brought to the table and what no one else brought to the table. So about 5 years ago, I was comfortable with saying, man, this is what I do. Like, damn, this is what I, like, you know how this shit is. It's like, you at the mercy of one person deciding, B, how we don't want you here no more.
Come on.
And now you on the outside, hopefully get let back in by somebody else. That's why this is so dope, because you're actually saying, if you do send me home, I'm coming home to my shit.
Exactly.
And I'm okay with living off my shit. And that's a part of, you know, learning, being in the game long enough,
and longevity.
Yeah, and understanding that the system changes and you got to change with it. But I really know what I'm doing, and I really believe that if I was put in any other scenario, that I would succeed. I think if you took, based on how I live my life, I think if you put me in the construction industry, or if you put me in any other industry, I would succeed, because I know what I know what I don't know. I know I don't have a problem asking questions, and I'm gonna show up every day with a smile on my face. Yeah. And I'm not gonna get mad at nobody for checking me. I'm not gonna get mad at nobody for correcting me. I don't mind that, because I understand that somebody knows more. Yeah. Now the person that thinks he knows it all probably is the person that's gonna get sent home soon.
Come on now.
And I just never would allow myself to be the person that thinks he knows it all. Okay, so this is why I went into a label. I went into a label because I remember when Sylvia Rhone offered me my first position. I'll never forget. And I remember I had a number in my head. I was like, man, if she offered me this much money, I'm taking that shit. And if she offered me less than that, I'm still taking it. I'm just being honest with you.
I'm with you.
The number I had in my head, she offered me double.
My God.
And I remember, but you know where that comes from? What she offered me was what the going rate was. Damn. When you don't know, in your mind, most of us don't base things off of what we're worth. We base things off of what we need. Yeah. So a lot of us are like, man, you give me this much money a month, I'll be good. Yeah. Not realizing that you might be worth more. And mind you, it took me 10 years to learn that. So I'm not even punishing anybody for that. I'm just saying I took what they gave me. Exactly. But I only want to go inside because I looked at myself like a bank. I mean, I looked at myself like a seller to a bank, right? And I went inside because I wanted to know what the bank thought. Because how many people you see say, you know, I got the next Beyonce, and it's like, well, damn, what was it about Beyonce? You know, because like I said, I always knew I didn't know much. So if somebody told me I got the next Usher, how can I say you have the next Usher unless I go to the person, work for the person who had the real Usher? And that's how I looked at it. So I wanted to work for L.A. Reid. Yeah. Because I wanted to learn, why'd you sign TLC? Why'd you sign Usher? Why'd you sign this guy? Like, why'd you sign Outkast? Goody Mob. And mind you, he told me everything. Like, he literally was like, oh, this is why I signed him. This is why I signed. Oh, this is why I signed. I remember I was trying to get a girl group signed, and LA was like, they not it. And I was like, what? And I was like, but TLC, da. He said, don't you ever say nothing about TLC. No. Mind you, he checked me, but it was dope because like I said, I don't mind. Like, I'm only speaking from a standpoint of somebody who don't know. Yeah. Like, once you know, if you fuck up, you just a loser. Yeah. But when you don't know, people give you a pass. Like, you feel me? So I was like, man, but TLC, da. He was like, don't you ever say about TLC. And I said, what was it so dope about them besides they were beautiful girls and that you knew you could make the records? And he was like, have you ever heard a voice like T-Boz? Ooh. Nah. He said, me neither. And that's why it works. Because she had that ill voice, that you had that energy from Left Eye, and you had Chili that came in with that smoothness. And it was like, damn. Yeah. He codified it for me. And a lot of the times in black business, we don't codify things. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing LA did was he codified the industry for me. He helped me understand why you don't have the next Usher. Like, how is he the next Usher? How old is he? Oh, he's 21. Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Well, Usher was on 8702 by the time he was 21. Usher was out here performing for young girls when he was 13. Yeah. So if he's going to be the next Usher, he got to start when he's 14, 15. Who was the only person that actually did that? and became the next Usher, Chris Brown.
Facts.
How old was he when he got signed? 15. So you start understanding. See, so I only went on the inside to learn how the buyer thought, because in my mind, if I knew what the buyer thought, I could help my people by giving them the information, and 2, I can sell to the buyer. So I didn't even know being a label exec was something that I was going to be doing. 10 years later, I didn't know that. I mean, I always went and worked for people who I knew, like that was like, Ray, we need you, and I'm like honored. Like, you need me? Hell yeah, I'll take it, because I didn't really know the value of what I did. So now I do, and I'm still humble in it, because I know that part of the quality that made me great was my humbleness in it from the jump. So if I lose that, I lost myself, and I lost everything going on.
Evaluating yourself though, Ray, coming from the hood and not really having a point of reference on to know exactly what your value was, how did you come to that conclusion of this is the value of Ray Daniels, this is the value of Radar, this is the value of this job and this service?
I'm still coming to the conclusion.
Okay.
I'm not going to even act like I have it all together. I'm still coming to the conclusion. But what I had to learn, when you from the ghetto, okay, this is a secret, right? I hope if you're a black person and you ain't got no money, if you remember one thing, remember this, what I said. The ghetto influences the entire world.
Thanks.
It's hard to realize your influence when you broke, though. So it's hard for you to realize your influence when you broke. So it's hard for you to understand your value when they're just taking it from the few and the proud who get out of it.
Yeah.
Right? But the ghetto is where we come from. Nobody tells the kid that he could dance that there's a million white kids on TikTok that would love these moves if you just monetize yourself.
Woo.
Or Beehive, you seem to have great conversations.
Yeah.
Why don't you put a camera in front of you and a couple of mics and monetize yourself? You can live off that. You'd be like, I could live off that? So you don't know your value when you're in the ghetto. Like, and the thing about us is that, the thing that I understand is that our currency in the black community has always been cool and athletics. Right? It's just to be honest with you, like, I don't care what table you sit at. If there's a black man at the table, that table feels a little cooler.
You ain't lying.
It's just that, but that's our currency. It's just what we bring to the table. Like, Beehive, you're supposed to know what the streets want.
Yeah.
That's what makes you cool.
Yeah.
You're supposed to know what's happening in the streets.
Yeah.
That's what makes you cool. And our currency is cool. So when you start thinking to yourself that they're trying to sell, and that's why I say I feel like I can work in any industry, because y'all trying to sell to this mass audience things that we do with nothing every day.
Yeah.
So not only am I going to help you guys sell, I'm going to help them get paid and see their value. You see what I'm saying? So for me, it's like, once I understood that, as long as they're aiming at the hip hop culture, which is not just black people at anymore, which is, you know, once they aim at the hip hop culture, you start realizing our power. It's like, bruh, I don't give a damn if you're running for the president of the United States. You're trying to figure out, how do I get young black people to come vote? I could tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care if you're saying, I'm opening a new restaurant. What's your demo? Okay, cool. Do you realize that wherever black people show up is cool?
Come on.
Then you start realizing, because at the end of the day, outside of a certain industry, most industries is based on cool. Right? Like, if you, most industries is based on cool. So in my mind, it's like, if it's the cool restaurant, if it's the cool hotel, if it's the whatever it is, it's still based on a certain caliber of people showing up there. And I'm one of those people. And I understand it from every level, because I was once one of those poor people, and I'm no longer one of those poor people. So I understand it on every level.
Come on.
So for me, it's like, once you start realizing your power, it becomes an amazing feeling, because now, then you realize you're no longer at the mercy of another culture. You're at the mercy of your own. As long as you stay true to your own, you can't lose.
Anyway, what's up, everybody? This your boy Unlimited Versus, and we got Ray Daniels. You guys don't know who Ray Daniels is. Ray Daniels is a Canadian music exec, record producer, talent manager. He's also the founder of SRO Management Group, as well as independent record labels, Moon Records and Anthem Records. So you can check him out. He does a lot of stuff. He even did, and even talk about it in this video, where he worked with L.A. Reid. And in case you guys don't know, L.A. Reid is responsible for people like TLC, Goody Mob, like LaFace. All of LaFace records is pretty much all of Atlanta's early, late 90s and early 2000s sound. More likely he that was responsible, which is a combination of Kenneth Babyface Records and who's it, LaFace and L.A. Reid. That's who it is. But anyway, here we got Ray Daniels. He just giving a game, and actually I had this video for a while and I wasn't sure like how I could use it, and I think what it was is that how can I put this, because I watched this a few times and I think I was just watching it and trying to get what I could get so I could put some content out, which is good, but my motivation wasn't wrong. I should have been watching it so I could actually learn something. And when I did that, that's when everything clicked for me. So right here, I'm gonna give you guys 4 things that I got from this that I feel like that could help me and you in whatever genre of entrepreneurship you're in, whether if you music, fashion, building, gardening, tech, whatever, anything. But anyway, the first thing I got from this is you need to know your worth and you need to know your value. If you don't know your worth or you don't know your value, someone's gonna tell you, and you gonna miss out on a lot of opportunities that could better your life, your family's life, and your family's grandkids' life for generations on down, like that. You heard, and one of the things he talked about is how mostly black people, we have this mentality. It's like a poverty mentality where we think of only what I need. You heard what he said. Well, you tell people like, you just give me this and I'm good. That's the mentality that we need to get out of. We need to know our worth. We need to know our value. Because like I said, if I don't, someone is gonna tell you what you're worth, and 9 times out of 10 it's not gonna be what you're actually worth. It's gonna be only a fraction of what you're worth. The number 2 thing is when you're in entrepreneurship, you're gonna want to branch out and connect with other people. That's just how things go. Sometimes you're gonna have to, especially say like if you're in the music business, you might need an editor, you might need a writer, or a fashion designer, or a social media manager. And if you're someone who can do that, that is a good point for number 2, is that you need to bring something to the table. You need to know your value and bring something to the table. You can't just be friends with the guy who's in the studio. That's cool and all, but you need to be able to do something. You need to be able to help him out. You need to be able to help yourself out. You can't be a guy that just know how to rock. You can't be the guy that just knows how to go and get weed in different cities and stuff like that. Yeah, that might be cool, but you need to know different stuff. Are you good at editing? Are you good at writing? Like I said, are you good at social media? Maybe like just because you deal with a lot of hood stuff, maybe you can be good at conflict management, something like that. I don't know. I think I just made up a new position. But anyway, you need to bring something to the table, whether you're a writer, rapper, singer, or even if you just bring money, you can just help finance the operation. That's better than nothing. And number 3, the third point that I got from this is you need to be willing to learn. A lot of people, we get to a certain point and then we think we know everything, we know enough, and we don't need to learn anything. Everything evolves, things change, new rules get changed, new rules get added, old rules get taken out, things get adapted. You're gonna always need to learn something. You need to be open to learning things. And if you don't want to learn, then you're pretty much just standing still, plain and simple. And the 4th and final thing, and this really hits me hard because I'm guilty of this. I used to do this a lot. Is you need to be willing to teach the next generation. A lot of times we learn something and we don't want to tell nobody because we think that, I don't know, if maybe we don't want them taking that same information that we taught them and they doing better than us, or maybe because we think that it's not enough money to go around because they're going to get all the money and now we're not going to get any money. Maybe they're going to get all the fans, whatever. But you need to be willing to teach the next generation. You might not like the outcome, but what that does is that pushes it forward, that moves the whatever genre you're in and moves it forward. gatekeepers. No one likes gatekeepers. Being a gatekeeper, that's just something that us as black people we've been guilty of and we've been victim of for so long. And I think that we should really stop that. That's something that's holding us all back. And I think we would be in a better position if more black and brown people in higher position was not gatekeeping and holding back certain information and things like that. So with that being said, if you're someone that's, tired of bullshit and tired of dealing with bullshit people, or you can't find anyone that don't have the same passion as you, then you should hit me up. Let's build something together. If you're on Instagram, click the link up top. If you're on YouTube, click the link below. Y'all stay true. Peace.